Good morning, Gomes graduates. I'm here outside of my house. It's beautiful out today. I decided to come out here and see what kind of stuff I could find, and I just found something so cool that I want you to see. So I want you all to see what I just found outside of my house. I'm going to zoom in on it right now. Here we go. Right near that plastic bag. Does everybody see it? Everybody know what that is? That is a garter snake, which is one of the most common snakes that you will see around here. Right now it looks like it's trying to sun itself because they love to come out and lay in the sun and warm up their bodies. And do you notice how this snake is not moving? Any ideas why this snake is not moving? It's because it does not want me to see it. It thinks if it stays still, then it's going to blend in or camouflage with the leaves around it and keep itself safe. It doesn't know that it's safe around me and that I'm not going to do anything to it. So it stays still so that it can protect itself by blending in or camouflaging with what's around it. I think snakes are absolutely beautiful, and I'm so excited that I got to see one of these outside of my house today. I hope you enjoyed seeing it too. Anybody know what kind of an animal a snake is? A snake is a reptile. Reptiles have scales on their body. Snakes have scales on their body. They also grow by getting a whole new skin. They don't grow like we do. They grow a new skin, they crawl out of their skin, and they're bigger when they do so. If you've ever seen one, if you've ever found a snake skin before or seen a snake skin, or if you have pet snakes, they shed their skin when it's time for them to grow. I'm going to zoom in a little more on this little guy so you can get a nice little look at him. He's not really that big, he's kind of tiny, but he's kind of adorable. So I'm going to end this and give him a break, and I'm going to keep looking and see if there's anything else I can find. Keep tuning in so we can keep learning about what's right around us in our own world. Bye, Gomes graduates. Hey Gomes graduates, welcome back. I thought it would be really cool to come back inside from my yard and talk a little bit about reptiles. I hope you enjoyed finding that snake with me as much as I did, but I wanted to give you a little bit of information so you can learn about reptiles. So there are four main characteristics of reptiles. The first one is air. All reptiles need to breathe air. Even ones that live in the water, they have to come up to the surface and get air. The second thing is that all reptiles are cold-blooded. That means that they cannot keep a steady temperature inside of their bodies. We don't have to think about our temperature. Our body does all the work for us. But reptiles, they have to keep their temperature up to what it's supposed to be. Remember back to that snake that was outside. What was that snake doing? It was laying in the sun. The reason that snakes lay in the sun is so they can keep their body temperature where it needs to be. They'll go in the shade when they get really warm, but when they need to bring their body temperature back out, they've got to go back up out into the sun. The third thing about reptiles is eggs. Almost all reptiles lay eggs. That's how they have their babies. They lay eggs. The eggs hatch into young animals. The last one is scales. Reptiles have scales, and we talked about that a little bit outside. Watch out for my cat. My cat's about to come across the video. Hold on. Come here, Wilbur. So, scales. We talked about that when we were outside. Reptiles have scales, or they have a hard, bony shell. It's one or the other. So think about animals that you know that are reptiles, right? We have snakes, turtles, lizards. Those all have either scales or a shell. So those are the four characteristics of reptiles, and then just a little bit about snakes, okay? Snakes, they have no legs. They're reptiles with no legs. So they slither. I love that word, slither. And not all snakes are poisonous. So if I had tried to catch that snake that was outside, that is not a poisonous snake. We really don't have poisonous snakes around here. So you don't really have to worry about that. But let's talk for a second. So what do snakes do when they feel threatened or in danger? Well, we saw the first thing that a snake tries to do, right? That snake wasn't moving. That snake was camouflaging or trying to blend in. It was hoping that I didn't see it. Now, if I came up to that snake closer, it might have said, I'm out of here. So it would have avoided me. It would have tried to go away. If the snake couldn't go away, it probably would have started hissing at me. Okay, and if I didn't listen and still kept trying to go, it probably would have tried to bite me. Now, I've been bitten before by garter snakes. It's just a little tiny pinch. They don't come after people. They don't do anything like that. But those are the 4 things that it's going to do to try to avoid people: camouflage, avoid you by going away, hiss, and then bite as a last resort. So you really don't have anything to worry about with snakes. A lot of times you don't see them until you're right next to them, and then they scurry away. That's mostly what happens. Another cool thing about reptiles, they have been around for about 320 million years. So snakes, crocodiles, alligators, all different kinds of reptiles have been around for a very long time. So I hope you enjoyed learning about reptiles. Tomorrow, maybe I'll show you another reptile. I have a couple of reptile pets, including a new one in my family. So maybe tomorrow I can introduce you to some of my reptiles and we can talk a little bit more about that. I hope you're doing great. I hope everyone's healthy, happy, safe. Make sure you like this video and make sure you leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought about the snake. Look up some facts about snakes or reptiles and share them with me below. Bye, Gomes graduates.